Hey, welcome everybody. Grab your gear. Let's see if we can catch up with our host, Caren Ware, as she runs around the world and runs straight into life, doing things that we can only imagine here. Today, I imagine this is going to be a really good conversation because we're going to talk about water a lot. How do we get to water in running here? Caren Ware.
We have so much going on. We have so many races, and we do a really special race in August. It's the fourth Sunday of August, and we put on a race called Splash Dash at Irvine Water. What is it called? Irvine Water Park. Wild Rivers. Come on, Wild Rivers.
Yeah.
And we also do a thing called the dry run. So if you're intimidated by splashing through water, you can do the 5K dry run and just run a straight 5K all around the complex and through the park. And we have age divisions for both. But I wanted to talk about water so that it's fun for you and that you get inspired and challenged to come in. The water park and the parts that we send you through are only like up to your knees and stuff. So I brought in a really special guest who is...
He's going to make a big splash here today.
Yes, and it's a booth at the Splash Dash because I just want you to know about all the things that you can do to get your kids, yourself, and everybody out there just comfortable in water.
This is a party. So if you're going to have a water party, why not have a guy who does water polo
yes.
at the party here? And I'm told there's a personal connection. This big burly guy is your son-in-law?
Yes. And so I had to learn. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself, but he came here to the United States on a scholarship to Concordia University to play water polo. And if you look at history, he's from Croatia, and Croatia won the Olympics. That's correct? So he can tell you.
Croatia won the Olympics in water polo? That's big in Croatia, huh?
A couple of times, yeah. Now they are second. This past Olympics, they got second place.
All right, so you came all the way here because I'm told, this isn't the first time I've heard this, that Southern California is like the Mecca. It's like one of the centers of water polo competition. UCI, Concordia, all the way up to Stanford and other places. I've heard people actually move their families here because they want to compete in water polo. Their kids want to compete in water polo at high level. Is that true?
That is absolutely correct, yes. Especially in Southern California, between all of the colleges, not just in Irvine, where there's two great teams between Concordia and UCI, like you mentioned. There's also Long Beach, there's UCLA, there's USC, there's San Diego down a little bit lower.
Yeah.
And then there's multitude of water polo clubs as well as swim clubs. Mostly, I believe it's because of the weather.
Yeah.
And all of the pools are actually outdoor pools, which is extremely unique for anywhere else.
That's not in Croatia?
No, Croatia is only in summertime. We get to train outside. It's most of the year is indoors because there's a lot of wind and it's cold.
And swimming is huge. Many Olympians have come from Mission Viejo, the Nadadores, I think it's called, the big pool there where they've had... I could rattle them off, but I forgot. I mean, famous divers and swimmers and stuff have started off competing in those clubs here. So you came all the way across the globe to compete here in water polo. What did your family think when you said, I'm packing up, Mom and Dad, I'm going to Southern California?
Well, they said, no, you're not.
They didn't say, surf's up, we're joining you.
I said, yes, I am. I took my SATs and I got accepted to this school and I'm going in August. And they said, really? I said, yeah, I'm backing up, especially because I was over there in law school already and playing professional.
You were in law school?
Yes, I was there for 2 years in law school and I was playing professional water polo for 4 years already and kind of had my life settled over there.
Yeah.
But then I decided, why not try something different? And so I took a leap of faith and decided to move across the world to play a little bit of water polo.
And what was that like? So you actually went back to school and got a master's or just a 4-year degree here?
Oh, I got 3 master's degrees.
This guy is
I got them everywhere.
A student like
what's that under the carpet? Oh, it's another master's degree.
No, yeah, I got my degree actually in accounting and finance. That was my initial background. That's what I started working as, and while I was getting my master's degree in business, in accounting and finance as well. I owned a solar company, amongst other things. I know. It was
the American dream. He was racing after the American dream.
And I worked for a law firm as well here, doing fraud prevention and fraud discoveries, and kind of that's I've been coaching water polo here in the United States since the first day I basically landed, because one of my Croatian coaches.
Hey,
brother,
anybody need water polo help at the airport?
well, no, it was actually one of my coaches from Croatia. His brother owned a water polo club here in the United States.
My goodness,
so
yeah.
he hired me right away off the bat, Peter Asik.
Off the boat?
Literally, off the plane mostly.
Yeah.
Literally, I landed on a Saturday. On a Monday, I had in a sense, a little private lesson with some of his athletes that were actually going to Stanford.
Yeah.
So I was teaching athletes that were already, in college, and I was going to play against them, which was really interesting. And
So I'm not going to show you all my moves.
not all of them, just some. But yeah, thanks to Peter Asik, I in a sense got into coaching, and then my coach from Concordia, Steve Carrera, he also hired me later into his.
So I got to ask, there's 3 questions. I know Karen's dying to jump in. If I got 3 questions, I got to get
That's
out.
okay.
Okay, number 1 is, how did you live in a big city or a small town in Croatia?
Medium,
okay.
200,000 people.
Okay, so it
City
wasn't
of
like
Split.
a tiny village or something. or
No,
whatever.
it was a big city. It was called Split. It's
Beautiful
right in the
town.
middle of
Split,
coast.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually heard of Split.
It's,
Okay.
it's middle of the coast, yeah.
Great
And
food.
Okay, now that's like what, the Dalmatia coast or something?
Correct, yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
in the middle of Dalmatia coast.
All right. Did you have a Dalmatian? No, probably
No,
not.
no.
All right. Anyway, so because it was close to the water, how did you get into water polo?
Well, I was a swimmer from age 5 to age 12. And then my dad asked me, do you want to try water polo? I said, sure. I'll get into water.
It's in the water? I'm in.
It's in the water, and actually had a ball. It was a little bit more interesting than looking the straight line under me.
Yeah,
It
right.
actually, I kind of saw a little bit more purpose and fun in it.
Yeah.
And it was more of a team sport, something that attracted me because I was a big soccer player at the time, basketball player.
Okay.
So kind of getting into a team sport was, I guess, a natural progression from swimming. And slowly, little by little, I just stuck with it, and by age 16, I was already playing professional water polo.
And there, people will pay to go watch people play. I don't know. Are there professional teams here in the United States? Or someplace?
There's no professional team currently, but they're in process of creating like a national league, so it's slowly in progress, because water polo is slowly starting to spread across United States. In many states, it's starting to become a high school sport as well.
Yeah, I know. In
which
high
kinda-
school out here, it's huge sport.
It's huge, correct, because every school here has a pool, and
Kids
and-
have pools at home, maybe, or something, particularly
Correct.
in places like Orange County.
And there's a lot more. So they're becoming CIF type of sport where actually it gets accepted and kids compete and they can get into the next step, which is going to college. So more and more colleges also are starting to get water polo. They have
So I
one
want
of
to
the
brag on
offerings, so-
Duje and give him his name right now, and it's Duje. If you
Duje.
and it's spelled D-U-J-E, which looks like Duge or like the John Wayne
Yeah,
Duke
I've been
or
called worse.
yeah. So Duje operates a club team here in Orange County called Patriot Aquatics, also Patriot Swim Club, and he teaches people how to swim, but he also has brought these kids to be junior Olympians very consistently,
Wow.
very consistently, which, and he's a personality because he has a London accent and he has a personality and
He's
is
certainly got a cool haircut.
and he was saying that, hey, you asked if, hey, don't whisper into the mic when you're on this talk show. And he goes, oh, I have no problem with that. I'm Croatian.
And
I'm
I
just-
yell at
and-
the teams on the sidelines here.
and
yeah.
at the, I think Paul mentioned when we were getting ready for this podcast, he goes, I don't know anything about water polo. Well, guess what? Neither do I. But I go there to watch it, and I go to watch the parents because the parents are on the sides, and they go there to watch Duje. And they have little things that they put these little signs up, and they have what they call Dujeisms. And there's,
Yay!
there's things that he says to the refs, to the I know. Okay, Duje, give us a one example of a Dujeism that you could think of.
Well, just in yelling, "What are you doing?" would be one of my.
Yeah, what are you doing? Until the whole
Or I
crowd on
say
the other
d-
side goes, what are you doing?
And sometimes I say, "Do you need popcorn?" Because if the kids are not playing, they're just sitting there and watching. Would you like some popcorn?
Some popcorn to watch.
It's
this
a
movie?
necessarily engaging sport. So if you're not just doing something, you're not doing anything.
All right. So
You're
the
just
second
watching.
question is, in a brief moment or two, explain what happened. I know they're in the pool. and there's a ball involved, and they have to sort of, it's extremely hard because you have to basically tread water. You don't stand on the bottom of the pool and just pass it around like a basketball court. You're treading water while you're trying to.
Well, I think you explained that it's like 3 sports in one. So go ahead.
So give us a shot here.
Yeah.
For those uninitiated, tell us what water polo is.
Water polo is research-wise, it's also the toughest sport in the world because, like you said, it engages people to have to tread water, but not just tread water, but actually try to survive while the other person is trying to drown you.
Okay.
They're trying to drown you constantly. It's a combination of wrestling. It's a combination of swimming. It's a combination of basketball, handball, and some other sports that are team-like, especially in setup.
No, I didn't think of it as a contact sport, though. You say they're actually wrestling. They're out trying to submerge you, to dunk you.
Correct. It's a constant contact, depending on position you're in, especially center and guard positions, which are
like a roller derby in water.
Well, roller derby, there's a lot of movement, and there's part of that while you go from one side to another of the pool. Even in that, there's contact because it's called cutoffs and certain other ways that you can try to create advantage. It must be
exhausting, though. I mean, you got to be a really powerful swimmer because you got to keep above the water. Usually I have to use my hands and my feet to keep above the water, but then I can't pass the ball.
Yeah. It is absolutely one of the toughest sports to be able to. It requires a lot of training. Our athletes train 2.5 hours every day.
Wow.
And that's kind of what makes you able to do it. It requires a lot of dryland work, so you get your muscles ready for what's readying you in the water.
I have met families. Usually, the one I'm thinking of is a guy who was very affluent, and had a lot of money back in New York. He was in some kind of finance or, I don't know, venture capital or something. He picked up, and his son got accepted into Stanford. And to do that, they decided to move out here so they could be closer and watch and support him.
And they'd be looking for Duje.
And
Duje
you said somebody else you knew from, from Connecticut or something.
Yeah, we have people that are moving over here into this area because whether it's for our club or there's some other academies here that are basically just for water polo organized.
Yeah.
And
those aren't as good as yours.
Absolutely. Our club is one of the youngest clubs, but we are becoming extremely competitive. And our athletes, in just 7 short years that I've been at the helm of it, we have developed a multitude of national championships and national champions for youth. And I also coach at high school, at Beckman High School, which is basically right down the street.
Irvine, yeah.
Correct, right in Irvine.
Yeah.
So those programs are also advancing from lower divisions to open and Division One teams as well, which I think obviously when there's success, there's always going to be people that will want to become part of the success and see how and what we do. Hopefully we can help out their kids.
So the point of your appearance, not just a proud mother-in-law showing off her son-in-law who's made this entrepreneurial journey across the world to do this. It's the question I ask Caren all the time. How do you make a living off of your passion? You love water polo. She loves running. How do you turn that into a business? How do you keep yourself above water and your family?
It's not easy. It takes the same fortitude that it takes to become an athlete and stay an athlete. It does. We probably train 10 hours a day making these businesses work. So I'm going to let him answer that for you.
Okay.
Well, it's a challenge, definitely. Mostly because there's a lot of competition around. There's a lot of water polo that are very established clubs around. So when I started, I actually did 3 jobs just so I can, in a sense, keep my head above water.
Right.
To be able to build this program, because we started with only 7 kids, and then a little bit of marketing.
And how many kids on a team? I don't know.
Right. Well,
I mean, when you're out in the field or whatever you call it, in the pool.
So there's usually between 12 to 15 kids. You can put 18 on the roster, but usually about 15 kids that actively are engaged.
Well, you need to ask him how many kids now do you have in Patriot Aquatics?
Well, it took a couple of years, definitely, to turn this, like you say, passion into something more livable and usable. So I went from 3 jobs to 2 jobs, and then ultimately to just
one job.
Just coaching water polo, because ultimately became overbearing, I'm going to say. And at this point, we went from 7 athletes to 170 in water polo.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. and a little bit over 100 swimmers, because we also have, when I started first, there was no Patriot Swim Club.
Right.
It was just a part of aquatics, and now Patriot Swim Club is actually a competitive swim team as well that competes on a USA water polo level, a USA swimming level, and competes with all of these teams that you mentioned, Matadors, Nova. And, they are starting to produce some really fast swimmers that I hope will someday
So, Caren,
make it
was
to
your
Olympics.
daughter? Yeah, we've never talked about your daughter. You have a daughter and
Yes,
a son, right?
yes.
And
Which they have a propensity to not do what their parents do. I mean,
I was going to say, yeah, right.
So my daughter,
If your parents
my
do
daughter
it, I
doesn't
don't
want
want
to
to do
admit
it.
it, but she loves to run and she's beautiful at it because her body's built for it. But she was a dancer, singer, an incredibly gifted singer that actually got accepted at, Juilliard and those kind of
Wow.
places,
Oh,
but
wow.
can
Okay.
sing 5 octaves and loves stage. And she says,
Celine Dion sings
yeah,
5
she said it's a
octaves, yeah.
sport, Mom. And she said when people try to act, it's painful.
Yeah.
But when they naturally, do parts and all that stuff. So she actually treats her hobby as a sport also. And so interesting
It
that,
is, yeah.
I think
Approaches
that,
it the same way.
I think because I'm, billing today Where in the World Adventures. It's a little side thing that I'm encouraging people to come out and try some of these adventures I've tried around the world.
Yeah.
Because I took my kids through that, and a lot of them, Duje was saying that my daughter was the one person he came across that understood universally the world and cultures and different cultures and could easily
Knew
assimilate.
where Croatia was, probably.
Yeah. Or if she didn't, she
Thanks to my
definitely
friend, yes.
she definitely wanted to jump on the chance to go check it out. It's full of waterfalls and beachfront. It's actually, in all honesty, it's the better Italy. If people didn't even know, it's the best kept
I've heard
secret.
people say that. You had the Dalmatian
Yeah.
coast and all the way along. It's supposed to be real rocky and spectacular.
So you can answer that, DA, and talk about my daughter. What was the attraction there?
Well,
But,
your daughter played a huge role in me being able to pursue my dream, because to be able to do something like we do is necessary to have somebody who supports you
Absolutely.
day in and day out, and somebody who understands, what it means to sometimes not be able to be at home, but to be able to work and provide and do all of those things. And I think
And when it's not going good, to not say, all right, time to give up, go get a real job here.
Correct, yeah, and she is a straight shooter. She is a more conservative type of person than I am. I'm more of a risk taker, but she.
You think? I'm getting on a plane and going to go do water polo. You're giving up your law career? Yeah, what the hell?
But she understood that part, I think, and she understands that I support her as well. So I think it's a reciprocal type of support where.
So isn't it like
support her in what she
sailboats
does.
have ballast in it? And so I really
there you
watch them
go.
in a very, very healthy way. They have good ballast.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, good ballast means that one one
Until
in
he
the
starts
wind,
screaming,
one's
do you
pulling
want
the
some
other one, so
popcorn?
they,
Do you want some popcorn? Or are you participating?
yeah, so they
here?
don't
Right.
flip over. So I want Duje to tell about his culture exchange program, because that is super exciting.
Yeah.
When I took on interns with my business, one of them came up with a thing to take a sport and then take them to another country and let them
There
interact
you
with
go.
people their age in that sport and have a culture experience. And so like my Where in the World Adventures.com, go check it out. I'm trying to encourage you to jump on the opportunities that I have had to go places. He's taking this summer, I think I heard 50
more.
youth, and tell us
More.
about it.
He doesn't,
To
Yeah.
doesn't
Croatia.
go anywhere with just 50. He's got to have 150 here.
No, but this is something that has given us opportunity to show people where us coaches come from, as well as the level of water polo that's over there. In addition to showing them the beauty of Croatia, because we're going to take this year, it's going to be the biggest group I've taken so far. It's going to be a little bit over 60 people between parents and kids as well. And the purpose of the trip, obviously, for kids as well is water polo, because they
Right.
train a lot, but also we go and see all the national parks in the Dalmatia region. We go to the islands that are right off the coast over there. We got to train with all of the local teams. They get to try the local food, and they are trained by some of the best water polo players in the world. Which
Who
are,
knew? I'm always amazed
Yeah.
at countries, particularly countries I don't come across that often, Croatia being one of them. But there are countries throughout the area in Europe and other places where they do sports I never thought of or heard of. I'm trying to think of where the Ukrainian chess, is it Ukraine where they play chess or something here? A couple of places it's
Russia,
like
Ukraine, yeah.
Russia, Ukraine, and then they play badminton in like Indonesia, I think. Or
Nepal.
Nepal, they do.
The Himalayas. Oh my gosh, that's their
Badminton,
sport.
yeah, right.
Because they can't chase a volleyball if it goes out.
Go over the cliff.
There's some, things evolve, and and so water's a big part. You think about Croatia has a beautiful long coastline.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Eastern Europe is very big on sports, mostly, but one that's pushed a lot is soccer, or football, as we like to call it.
Yeah, right.
But that's what everybody knows about, is the soccer, because it's the biggest.
Wrestling, I know wrestling in some of the areas or something.
Well, Croatians have, so even my city, Split, has the most Olympic winners as well as Olympic medal winners than any city in the world for the population. Yes.
Wow.
We have a whole coast dedicated to them and where their names go, where their Olympics that they were in. It's a huge Olympic city, in a sense. Like I said, I think we have about 70 Olympic winners.
It's not that far from Greece and Mount Olympus, where the Olympics started here. The whole idea.
Correct. And
yeah,
for
I think it's in their genes
too. It's like Irvine having 70 to 80 Olympians.
Yeah. Irvine's for some reason a crazy
correct. So
combination.
It's that type of setting.
So is there some similarity between, is there a little plan in this, Caren, today? Here we're talking about a splash dash and water.
I just want you to get excited about being in the water and learning to swim, or even if you don't swim, what we do on the splash dash is you're going to have a hard time drowning in 2 feet of water. And it's fun because when you go into the wild river, in Wild Rivers, and run through it on the tail end of your 5K and splashing through it, it's like a conveyor belt because you're going against their little current. And so if you push it real hard, then it's like putting the elevation up on a conveyor, on a treadmill. And if you just, back it off, okay, my heart rate goes down and I could just play.
I would think it would be disruptive in the sense that I'd start playing. Everybody starts splashing each other and jumping up and down like kids in a puddle. Yeah.
We kind of allow you to do that. And we have a kids splash dash that they get to splash into the pool and turn around and come back. And I really appreciate Wild Rivers and their support to the healthy community out there and allowing this because it's hot in the summer.
Yeah, perfect.
And this is a cool way to do a healthy
thing to do on
a
hot day.
So third Sunday, what is the date of the third Sunday? Look it up. Third Sunday
look
in
it
August.
Up. Let's look while you're talking here. I can look it up.
I think it's August, Wada Wada. And we make it really cool because everyone gets finisher medals and they have a choice between a shirt
that would be the 7th. Is it a Saturday or a Sunday?
It's a Sunday.
Sunday. That'd be the 17th.
No, the next one.
24th?
4th, yeah. The 24th of
That's
August.
The 4th.
Yeah, the 4th, I'm sorry, the 4th weekend in August. And just look it up in Caren. And I think I wear that on my sleeve. But Caren.
You wear everything on your sleeve.
Yes.
You wear your life on your sleeve, your heart on your sleeve, right?
Caren with the C, so the word Caren it. Caren, last name is Ware, W-A-R-E, events.com. Hit the calendar section. Go down
we
and
should
see.
redo your last name to be W-H-E-R-E.
Yeah, Where in the World. That's why we have Where in the World Adventures. This weekend, Saturday, we are the SoCal Pirates Run. It's an amazing themed race.
I wanted to bring that up. There's another. You do these themed runs. I thought it was all just going to be hardcore runners line up, they go.
No, we're going to have
and there is some of that there, but yeah.
And we're going to have all kinds of things. And we have a guy that is the closest thing on earth to Jack Sparrow that comes and MCs this whole thing, and you get this amazing experience. And then we blow fog in so that you look like you're on a ship, and all that kind of stuff. It's happening this Saturday. You can do walk-up registration, Bolsa Chica State Beach, because how can you have a Pirates Invasion without the beach?
At the beach, yeah.
And it's in May this year just because we're working with permits to get it back in June, which is after school gets out. Yeah, so
are there pirates in Croatia? Or there a history of pirates?
There's a lot of history of Croatia pirates. Yes.
I would think so, up and down the coast. Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of boats that have been sunk, and there's a lot of treasure down there. There's a lot of treasure down there. But I do want to say that what Caren does is extremely unique, and it's a lot of fun. We worked her races, we ran her races, and every time it has been absolute unique experience. And Splash Dash is one that we are in as well. And I highly suggest that anybody that likes running, that likes a
Or
little bit of
water.
water,
Yeah.
correct?
Combine the two.
Combine the two, and it's truly amazing experience overall. We had a blast last year. A lot of our members went, and they had absolute tremendous, excuse me, fun. So
He's getting
Thank you.
choked up just
Yeah.
thinking about
So,
it.
Duje, give us a plug. Tell people where they need to go
Yes.
to check out if they have kids that need to learn
They
to
want
swim.
to learn
or
about water
they want
polo,
them to
or
love
they're.
water.
I don't
and be
think they have to
safe.
learn about it. I'm telling you, parents in Orange County are into water polo. I didn't know that when I moved here, and so many of my friends, they say, "What's your son doing?" Or is it guys and girls, or just
Yeah.
guys?
it's
No.
boys and girls.
Okay,
yes.
And
because
I-
most of them are guys. I've seen for some reason that do water
Every
polo.
time I mention water
And
polo
we
in
have
Orange
girls
County,
as well. This
Yeah.
our girls program is really big. We actually have 14 girls that are in an Olympic development program right now.
Wow.
Hopefully making it to national team, which is going to be one of the biggest ever in sport probably. But if your kids are interested to try in water polo, you can go onto our website, patriotaquatics.org, and if they're-
PatriotAquatics.org. Okay.
or patriotswimclub.org if they're interested in competitive swimming. And you can read about us on the website and go there. But also one thing that I would want to mention is we started this year what's called Patriot Pals for this summer, which is a program designed for kids with autism and disabilities
How great.
to get into swimming as well as water polo, to try and give them the benefits of a sport and team and water as well, to try and...
We're over a minute, but let's go over 2 minutes and talk about that,
Okay.
because that's something special.
Yeah, wow.
Autism is, what I understand, I know it's a spectrum, so there's it's not just one thing. It's where you are on the spectrum. Is it slight? Is it severe? But that being said, it seems to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, everybody's going to write in and say that's not it. But we've had people on talk about it. It's the inability to process sensations, to inability to too much data, light, sound, everything coming in, it overwhelms them. That's why they shut down, or they can't, too much stimulation coming at them at once. And yet, we've had people talk about, like the Shea Riding Center down in San Juan Capistrano, having blind kids go on a horse, or kids with autism go on a horse. Something calming, I would think, about water,
Correct.
that they doesn't frighten or overwhelm them.
That is correct. Yeah. So again, depending on where on the spectrum you are, the more of it. Some kids have tendency to be against water.
Right.
That can be, but a lot of kids have shown that it helps out. We have kids.
It's a calming, soothing feeling.
Correct.
somehow,
Yeah. And then some that are in fear of contact, it helps even create more contact
Yes,
within
exactly.
the water.
Because anything touching, feeling, everything, it's just so over amplified and overwhelming to them. Any sight, any sound, any noise, any touch can
Correct.
just
And-
frighten you. Yeah.
And we have a great person, Sarah Wasner, who is one of our coaches. She's been into this and she's been studying this, and she has had a great program put up together to help these kids get acclimated to the water and the surrounding.
this is
that they're in
exciting.
as
Have you
well.
ever worked with Easter Seals? Has a big program in autism.
I have not. No.
We'll put you in
Yeah.
touch, because one of our show hosts has an autistic son.
Please, yeah. I
And
would love
they do amazing work, and they're trying to pioneer something using VR headsets
Mm-hmm.
to desensitize people, or make them more comfortable, rather than taking them out into the world and having them freak out and be frightened. Simulated world can help them make
Well,
that
thank you,
transition.
I
Duje,
think
for
that's
adding
great.
that to your program, and so that everyone
Fantastic,
in
yes.
all spectrums go. So don't forget, you have a lot of things to do out there in the summer. You have no excuses.
Wow.
No
And
excuses.
it goes, I'll just end with this, because you both have more than a passion for what you do. You have a passion for giving back to people. I think that shows in Caren. Certainly supports people. The proceeds that she makes, she donates part of it and supports people around the world that she runs into. Sherpas and other people, and I'll say, oh, and they need help. Great, we'll stand behind you and support you. Sounds like your son-in-law is doing the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Again,
thank you
Caren
guys
with the
for having
C,
me.
and with the word Caren in it, and look up Caren Ware events, and don't forget to check out Patriot Aquatics, Patriot Swim Club.
Absolutely, and come out. Is it this weekend again? One last time?
Yeah, this weekend, Saturday, SoCal Pirates Run. Oh my gosh, it's a party like no other. The healthiest part you'll get out there. 5K, 10K, you can race it, walk it, jog it, do it backwards.
I want to see your son-in-law in a pirate outfit because his accent sounds to me kind of nasty.
It can be rough. Yeah.
Well, at least if they make him walk the plank and he ends up in the ocean, he knows how to
He
swim.
knows how to swim. All right, good deal. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Here. Well, there you have it. One more reason to tune in and follow along as we run into life right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Streaming live, no pun intended, streaming from our studio here at the University of California, Irvine's Beal Applied Innovation Center.